China's industrial revolution is in full throttle, and American corporations are feeling the heat. From EVs to semiconductors to airplanes, 5G, and commerce, China's ascent is shaking American industry to its core. Will the United States be able to keep up, or is this the start of a new era in global business? Aviation. Comac C919 versus Boeing 737 MAX 8. Starting with the C919 narrow-body jet, China's Commercial Aircraft Corporation aims to challenge Boeing and Airbus's long-standing supremacy in the commercial aviation market. Comac, founded in 2008, demonstrates China's desire to lessen its reliance on Western manufacturers and position itself as a key participant in the global aerospace sector. The C-1919 and Boeing 737 MAX 8 are similar in size and passenger capacity. Both planes are intended to seat between 158 and 168 passengers in a standard two-class layout. Notably, both planes use CFML EAP engines, demonstrating the continued reliance on Western technology in critical areas of aircraft design. Comac has numerous important challenges in its pursuit of market share. The C919 relies significantly on Western components such as avionics and power plant for crucial systems. Furthermore, there are continued concerns about intellectual property protection, with some Western corporations hesitating to share breakthrough technologies with their Chinese counterparts. Geopolitical issues have also hampered Comac's progress. In 2020, the U.S. government added Comac to a list of companies with alleged military ties, potentially limiting its access to U.S. technology and components. Despite its established position, Boeing faces unique obstacles in the Chinese market. The grounding of the 737 MAX after two tragic crashes in 2018 and 2019 harmed Boeing's brand and market position. The business has battled to rebuild trust and market share, especially in China, where regulatory approval for the 737 MAX to restart flying has been sluggish. The future of both companies remains questionable. Comac seeks to dominate the local Chinese market by utilizing government assistance and a large potential client base. The business has received hundreds of orders for the C919, largely from Chinese airlines and leasing organizations. Electric vehicles, BYD versus Ford BYD, or Build Your Dreams, has emerged as a major participant in the worldwide EV industry, pushing established automakers such as Ford and Tesla. BYD was founded in 1995 as a battery manufacturer and has now exploited its expertise in energy storage to become a prominent EV producer, outselling several established automakers. Retail sales figures show BYD's quick expansion in China. Warren Buffett is financing BYD, which rose from 13th place in 2021 to first place in 2022. In 2022, BYD sold more than 1.85 million new energy vehicles, including pure electric and plug-in hybrid models. That's around 500,000 more vehicles than Tesla. This amazing growth is a 208.6% year-on-year gain, demonstrating the company's quick rise in the EV industry. In comparison, Ford sold around 61,575 EVs in the same year, revealing a huge difference in EV sales volume between the two firms. Several significant variables contribute to BYD's success. The company's vertical integration strategy enables it to manufacture numerous important components in-house, including batteries, motors, and electronic controllers. This strategy gives BYD more control over its supply chain and expenses, allowing it to provide competitive pricing throughout its product line. The company's wide product inventory ranges from affordable models like the BYD Dolphin, which costs roughly $15,000 in China, to premium products like the Han Sedan, which competes with Tesla's Model S. This broad spectrum enables BYD to appeal to a variety of market groups and consumer preferences. Ford, a legacy American car maker with almost a century of experience, is investing extensively in its electric vehicle transition. The firm has pledged to invest more than $50 billion in EVs through 2026 to produce 2 million EVs per year by the end of 2026. Ford's strengths include strong brand awareness, a global dealer network, and skills in mass production and supply chain management. In terms of battery technology, BYD has focused on creating and producing lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are less expensive and safer than typical lithium-ion batteries. The company's Blade battery, which debuted in 2020, has received praise for its revolutionary design and performance. Ford, like many Western automakers, has traditionally utilized nickel-cobalt-manganese batteries. But it is looking into LFP choices for entry-level cars to cut costs and enhance affordability. BYD's global expansion goals include approaching European markets, where it will introduce multiple models in Norway, Germany, and the United Kingdom. The corporation has also made advances throughout Southeast Asia and Latin America. Ford intends to accelerate EV adoption worldwide by utilizing its current global footprint, with a particular emphasis on its home market of North America and major European markets. Semiconductors. SMIC versus Intel Semiconductor. Manufacturing International Corporation is China's largest and most advanced chip maker, driving the country's aspirations toward semiconductor self-sufficiency. Founded in 2000, SMIC has made great progress in recent years, closing the technology gap with global heavyweights such as Intel. SMIC has announced success in developing advanced process nodes, including 14 nanometers and 7 nanometers technology. In 2022, the business stated that it has completed mass manufacture of 14 nanometer chips, a significant step forward in its technological development. While SMIC's growth lags behind the cutting-edge methods of companies such as TSMC and Samsung, it is a significant success for China's semiconductor industry. The corporation has dramatically expanded its expenditure in research and development, with R&D expenses reaching $766 million in 2021, up 39.5% from the previous year. This considerable investment demonstrates SMIC's commitment to improving its technology skills and closing the technological gap with world leaders. Intel, a longtime semiconductor market leader, is facing hurdles in preserving its technological advantage. The company has suffered delays in moving to smaller process nodes, particularly with the switch to 7 nanometer technology. These losses have allowed competitors such as TSMC and Samsung to gain traction in the contract manufacturing market. Telecommunications. Huawei versus Cisco. Huawei has established itself as a global leader in telecommunications equipment, particularly 5G technology. The company's quick development and technological breakthroughs have positioned it as a significant contender to established competitors such as Cisco. Huawei's growth in the telecom sector has been nothing short of extraordinary, with the business becoming the world's largest telecom equipment producer in 2012 and retaining a dominant position ever since. Huawei's advantages in the telecoms business are numerous. The corporation has made significant investments in research and development, with R&D expenses reaching $22.1 billion in 2021, accounting for 22.4% of total sales. This huge investment has enabled Huawei to develop cutting-edge technologies such as 5G, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence. The company's 5G equipment has acquired global appeal as a result of its affordable pricing and diverse product choices. Huawei has received multiple 5G contracts around the world, notably in emerging regions such as Asia, Africa, and Latin America. As of 2021, Huawei had signed over 3,000 5G commercial contracts worldwide, proving its strong market position. Cisco, a long-time networking equipment pioneer, is facing new challenges in the rapidly changing telecom industry. The corporation has been attempting to speed up 5G product development to compete with Huawei and other rivals. In 2021, Cisco launched its Internet for the Future strategy, which includes considerable investments in silicon, optics, and software to meet the growing demand for 5G and next-generation networks. However, rising competition, notably from Chinese manufacturers offering lower-priced alternatives, is putting pressure on Cisco's profit margins. The company's networking infrastructure segment, which includes routing, switching, and wireless equipment, has seen slower growth in recent years. E-commerce, JD.com versus Amazon. JD.com has established itself as a major e-commerce operator in China and is expanding overseas, putting it in direct conflict with Amazon in several areas. JD.com was founded in 1998 and has evolved to become China's largest online retailer in terms of revenue, with a market capitalization of more than $100 billion as of 2023. JD.com's success is due to numerous major strengths. The organization has created an innovative logistics network with a high level of automation, enabling fast and efficient delivery services. As of 2022, JD.com had approximately 1,600 warehouses in China, totaling more than 23 million square meters of floor space. The company's automated warehouses and delivery drones have set new norms in e-commerce logistics. JD.com has also been at the forefront of combining online and offline shopping experiences. The company's omni-channel approach involves partnerships with traditional retailers as well as the establishment of its brick-and-mortar locations, such as unmanned convenience stores and 7 fresh supermarkets. Amazon, while dominant in many Western economies, is facing substantial obstacles in its global development. Amazon's attempts to enter the Chinese market were generally unsuccessful, with the corporation closing its domestic e-commerce business in China in 2019. This retreat emphasizes the challenges that foreign companies confront while competing with local giants in the Chinese market. Artificial intelligence, SenseTime versus Google. SenseTime, a Chinese artificial intelligence firm launched in 2014, has achieved notoriety in computer vision and deep learning applications, establishing itself as a contender to global AI leaders such as Google. The company's quick development and technological advancements have made it one of the world's most valuable AI firms, with a valuation of more than $7.5 billion as of its 2021 IPO. SenseTime's capabilities stem from its experience in facial recognition and picture analysis technology. The company's AI algorithms have found applications in a variety of industries, including smart cities, self-driving cars, and mobile gadgets. SenseTime says that its facial recognition technology is 99.8% accurate, outperforming humans in several circumstances. Renewable energy. Jinko Solar versus First Solar. Jinko Solar, a Chinese solar panel business started in 2006, is now one of the world's top makers of photovoltaic modules. The company's expansion and technological breakthroughs have positioned it as a significant competitor to established competitors such as First Solar, threatening Western firms' long-standing dominance in the solar energy sector. The company has shown a dedication to ongoing improvement in solar cell efficiency. In 2021, Jinko Solar achieved a record-breaking solar cell efficiency of 25.25% for their large-area N-type monocrystalline silicon solar cell, demonstrating its technological capabilities. The company has also made progress in creating advanced module technologies, such as bifacial modules and half-cell designs, to boost system performance. Jinko Solar has established a strong presence in both the domestic and global markets. In 2022, the company exported around 44.5 gigawatts of solar modules worldwide, with international markets accounting for roughly 80% of total exports. Russia and China are in talks about a $13 billion oil and gas pipeline project. Mongolia, which was considered a transit country for the pipeline, may no longer be required. Instead, there is rising suspicion that the route may change to cross through Kazakhstan. This probable adjustment has raised eyebrows, leaving many asking why China is unwilling to take the Mongolian route. What is the current state of the project, and how might this new avenue boost Russian exports? The invasion of Ukraine has had a devastating impact on Russia's gas deliveries to Europe. Since the conflict began, these exports have dropped, resulting in an annual loss of almost $150 billion for Russia. This massive financial blow has compelled Russia to search east for new buyers, with China being the key focus. However, Russia confronts considerable hurdles in its pivot to Asia. One of the most significant challenges is Russia's lack of liquefied natural gas, LNG, infrastructure. LNG facilities enable natural gas to be chilled and compressed into a liquid form, which can then be delivered by ship to markets across the world. Without suitable LNG infrastructure, Russia's capacity to export gas to distant markets is severely hampered. To address this issue and secure new export routes, Russian President Vladimir Putin recently visited China to discuss the Power of Siberia 2 project. Despite Russia's urgency to finalize the agreement, China has demonstrated an unexpected lack of enthusiasm. This lackluster response from China has raised concerns about the project's sustainability and the future of Russia-China energy cooperation. To understand the background of this new pipeline project, we need to look at China's present natural gas demand and suppliers. In 2022, natural gas accounted for 9% of total Chinese energy consumption. This may not appear to be a high percentage, but given the scale of China's economy, it accounts for a significant amount of gas. Furthermore, China has set an ambitious goal of increasing this proportion to 15% by 2030 as part of its efforts to cut carbon emissions and improve air quality. China's increasing need for natural gas necessitates more imports. Currently, China gets its natural gas via a combination of pipeline imports and LNG shipments. The country has pipeline links to numerous bordering countries, including Turkmenistan, Russia, and Myanmar. Furthermore, China receives LNG from many global suppliers, allowing it to diversify its sources of natural gas. Forecasts for China's gas demand between 2030 and 2040 indicate a potential supply shortfall, which Russia plans to fill with the Power of the Siberia 2 pipeline. However, the issue is complicated by China's current import obligations and the unknown trajectory of future demand. These considerations make it difficult to anticipate exactly how much additional gas China will use and when. Let us take a closer look at China's existing gas pipeline system. The country has 3 major pipelines from Turkmenistan, referred to as A, B, and C. These pipelines were built between 2008 and 2014 at a total cost of about $14 billion. Together, they presently supply China with 55 billion cubic meters of gas each year. There are plans to boost this capacity to 85 billion cubic meters over the next 3 years to meet China's growing demand for natural gas. The Power of Siberia. One pipeline, which connects Russia and China, began operational in 2019. This gigantic infrastructure project spans 3,000 kilometers and will cost an estimated $55 billion to build. In 2023, it delivered 22 billion cubic meters of natural gas to China. The pipeline's capacity is anticipated to progressively rise, reaching a maximum of 38 billion cubic meters by 2027. China also receives gas from Myanmar via a pipeline established in 2013. This pipeline was meant to deliver 12 billion cubic meters of gas annually. However, it is currently operating at only 1/3 of its capacity due to various operational challenges. Despite these issues, the pipeline remains a critical component of China's gas import infrastructure. The projected Power of Siberia 2 pipeline would follow a different path than its predecessor. Power of Siberia. One passes via eastern Siberia before entering China in its northeastern region, whereas Power of Siberia 2 travels through Mongolia to reach China. This road offers both chances and problems. The anticipated cost of the Power of Siberia 2 project is $13.6 billion. This is a major investment, particularly given the current geopolitical tensions and economic uncertainties. The huge cost raises concerns regarding funding and economic feasibility, especially given China's obvious reservations. The pipeline's proposed route via Mongolia poses additional political dangers. Agreements must be struck not just with Russia and China, but also with Mongolia for transit rights. This complicates talks and exposes potential vulnerabilities in the gas supply chain. Any future political problems between these countries may hinder gas flows. However, recent conversations concerning this idea have revealed unexpected obstacles. China, it turns out, isn't very keen about the pipeline running through Mongolia. Instead, they advocate for a route through Kazakhstan. There are various causes for this probable shift. First, China has expressed concern about Mongolia's increasing cooperation with the United States. Mongolia has strengthened ties with the United States in recent years, forming a strategic agreement in 2019 and taking part in joint military exercises. This stronger cooperation between Mongolia and the United States has sparked concern in Beijing, which is leery of greater American influence in the region. Kazakhstan, on the other hand, has numerous advantages as a transit country. It has previous expertise with oil and gas pipelines, notably ones linking to China. The Kazakhstan-China oil pipeline, which has been active since 2006, and the Central Asia-China gas pipeline, which runs through Kazakhstan, highlight the country's current energy infrastructure linkages with China. Furthermore, Kazakhstan's political scene may be perceived as more stable and predictable from China's standpoint. While Kazakhstan faces its issues, it has maintained reasonably balanced relations with both Russia and China, which may make it a less dangerous transit option. The Kazakhstan route would also be shorter than the Mongolia route, which might reduce construction costs and transit times. This could increase the project's economic viability, which is essential considering the estimated $13 to $15 billion cost. According to Chris Wafer, CEO of Eurasia-based strategic consultancy Macro Advisory, using the Kazakh path, where the cost of repair and upgrade will be significantly lower than Power of Siberia 2, is a much more appealing choice, and one that Beijing looks to be willing to accept. He went on to say that they have a long common border, and the old Soviet infrastructure is repairable, allowing additional gas to flow via Kazakhstan. Selling at a lower price than it receives from Europe and Turkey is a reasonable sacrifice for increasing volumes and infrastructure. While natural gas remains a critical component of China's energy policy, the country is also looking into alternatives. China has shown a strong interest in hydrogen as a potential energy source, particularly green hydrogen created with renewable electricity. Hydrogen generation processes are classified as gray, blue, or green. Gray hydrogen is created from fossil fuels without capturing the associated CO2 emissions. This is currently the most popular and cost-effective technique for producing hydrogen, but it is also the most environmentally harmful. Blue hydrogen uses fossil fuels but collects and stores CO2, making it more environmentally friendly than gray hydrogen but not completely clean. Green hydrogen, created by splitting water molecules with renewable electricity, is the most environmentally benign choice, but it is currently the most expensive to produce. China just committed a major $45 billion investment in green hydrogen development, demonstrating its strong support for this technology. This decision could have an impact on future natural gas consumption because hydrogen could replace natural gas in various uses, including industrial operations and transportation. Russia's dire need for new gas export routes stands in stark contrast with China's lack of urgency. This disparity in bargaining positions could have a substantial impact on the final terms of any agreement. Russia presently owns over 24% of the world's proven natural gas reserves, making it the country with the most gas reserves worldwide. However, these massive reserves are worthless if Russia is unable to bring the gas to market. It is important to note that the power of the Siberia 2 project extends beyond natural gas. According to recent claims from Russian officials, the pipeline might also transport oil. Russian President Vladimir Putin noted, "Moreover, it is possible to lay both a gas pipeline and an oil pipeline in the same corridor. This dual-use potential may make the project more economically viable." The geopolitical consequences of the Siberia 2 project extend beyond Russia and China. The United States, which has been boosting its LNG exports to Asia, is likely to closely monitor these developments. Increased energy links between Russia and China could potentially undermine U.S. dominance in the region. Despite these problems, Russia remains enthusiastic about the project. Russia's Deputy Prime Minister, Alexander Novak, has announced that a deal for Siberia 2 power generation is expected to be signed soon. The discussions over the power of the Siberia 2 project are complex, with pricing being a crucial area of contention. Despite these obstacles, Putin remains optimistic about the project's potential. He stressed that China's developing economy needs more energy resources, and he identified Russia as the most reliable provider to meet this demand. Putin also emphasized the project's resilience against any Western meddling. He said that the agreement would be designed in such a way that it would be immune to penalties, whether directed at shipping fleets or financial institutions. Vladimir Putin stated Russia and China hope to avoid any financial restrictions by doing transactions in their national currencies. This strategy, according to Putin, emphasizes both countries' mutual interest and dedication to the initiative. Russia has long been a dominant player in the natural gas export industry, with Europe serving as its key consumer. However, a new accord between Russia and China captured the world's attention. This was not just an ordinary deal. It was a gigantic $13 billion investment in a 2,600-kilometer pipeline. The original idea was ambitious. Begin construction in 2024 and complete the entire structure in 4 years. However, recent conversations concerning this idea have revealed unexpected obstacles. China, it turns out, isn't very keen about the pipeline running through Mongolia. Instead, they advocate for a route through Kazakhstan. This adjustment has aroused eyebrows, leaving others wondering why China is unwilling to go the Mongolian way. And how is the project progressing now? To comprehend the significance of this project, consider Russia's natural gas resources. The Siberian plain is abundant with natural gas. In 2011, Siberia produced 40% of Russia's total natural gas output. That's a huge amount of gasoline. However, transporting gas from Siberia to its destination is not inexpensive. Transportation expenses are a significant concern for Russia. This is when China enters the picture. The Far East Route Memorandum, signed in 2015, was between China and Russia. This resulted in the construction of the Siberia 1 natural gas pipeline, which began transporting gas to China in 2019. Currently, it sends approximately 15 billion cubic meters of gas to China every year. But that's only the beginning. They intend to increase that to 38 billion cubic meters by 2027. With this pipeline, Russia has become one of China's key natural gas suppliers, and China requires a large amount of gas. In 2021, China's natural gas consumption will reach an astounding 390 billion cubic meters. That is a 7.6% rise over the previous year. Of that amount, Russia supplied nearly 100 billion cubic meters, accounting for roughly 1/3 of China's entire consumption. Looking ahead, China's National Energy Administration forecasts even more demand. They expect demand to increase between 420 and 425 billion cubic meters by 2024. The idea calls for investing $13 billion in this gigantic project. The pipeline would originate in Tyumen, Russia, go through Mongolia, and conclude in eastern China. We're talking about a 2,600-kilometer pipeline here. To split it down, Mongolia would account for approximately 900 kilometers, Russia for 100 kilometers, and China for 1,600 kilometers. Originally, they expected to begin construction in 2024 and completion by 2028. If everything goes according to plan, the pipeline will be operating around 2030. This pipeline could transport up to 50 billion cubic meters of natural gas to China each year. This initiative has the potential to benefit both China and Russia simultaneously. For China, this means a more consistent supply of natural gas. For Russia, it represents a new market for their gas, increasing their flexibility in the global energy market. However, there is currently no concrete information about when work will begin. In June, there were indications that China and Russia were stalled in negotiations. What are the key issues? They couldn't agree on the price or quantity of gas that China would purchase. Some Western media outlets seized upon this, presenting a picture of hostile Sino-Russian relations. But is that actually what's happening? The fundamental issue appears to be China's fears over the pipeline's passage through Mongolia. Mongolia has recently developed closer ties with Western countries, such as the United States and the United Kingdom. They're even discussing direct flights between Mongolia and the United States, bypassing China and Russia. China is concerned by Mongolia's policy toward its third neighbor. If the pipeline passes through Mongolia, China will not have control over 900 kilometers of it. What if there are political changes in Mongolia? What happens if someone decides to turn off the tap? These are the types of energy security concerns that keep policymakers awake at night. There's also the economic factor to consider. If the pipeline passes through Mongolia, Mongolia will levy tolls. Experts predict that Mongolia might earn up to $30 million each year from these charges. That is fantastic for Mongolia, but it means increased prices for China. So what are the alternatives? China has considered bypassing Mongolia entirely and routing the pipeline through Kazakhstan instead. This path would be shorter, resulting in lower construction and maintenance expenses. Geographically, the pipeline's path across Kazakhstan will be quite short. This not only cuts building costs, but also simplifies maintenance. It is worth noting that Kazakhstan's ambassador to Russia claimed that Russia intends to develop a new natural gas pipeline shortly. This pipeline will traverse through Kazakhstan before eventually transporting natural gas to China. However, this initiative is about more than just money and gas. It's about strategy. Oil and gas are considered strategic resources. Currently, China gets the majority of its oil and natural gas from the Middle East and Africa. Almost all of that must pass across the Malacca Strait. That is an issue because if there is a conflict, countries such as India or the United States may block that route. India and the United States have repeatedly said that if China takes action to unify Taiwan, they will immediately block passages in the Indian Ocean and the Strait of Malacca, cutting off China's energy supply line. Furthermore, the U.S. Navy frequently conducts joint military exercises with India and other so-called partners regularly, essentially testing the potential to block the Indian Ocean passage. That is why China is so interested in the Russian pipeline. It's a strategy to diversify their energy imports while also increasing their security. If Russia can boost its supply of oil and natural gas, it will significantly lessen China's reliance on the Strait of Malacca and improve the security of its energy imports. Recent developments have provided a new twist to this story. Mongolia has excluded the pipeline project from its long-term objectives. This could cause delays in the project. Some analysts believe this is due to China and Russia's inability to reach a pricing agreement. Others refer to geopolitical causes, such as Western sanctions against Russia. Munknarin Bayralkagva, a former officer at Mongolia's National Security Council, observed, "We are entering a long pause in which Moscow no longer believes it can get the deal it wants from Beijing and will most likely postpone the project until better times." There is also competition from other initiatives. There is speculation of a Line D pipeline that would transport gas from Turkmenistan to China. According to Alexei Chigodayev, a China expert and former visiting lecturer at Moscow's Higher School of Economics, this pipeline has several distinct advantages. The pipeline will be substantially shorter than the Russian one, and China will have complete control over it, including investments, construction, and management. Negotiating with Turkmen political figures is also easier. It has a higher level of authoritarianism than Russia, and the Atlantic Council provides another perspective. North China's access to liquefied natural gas markets is rising, and global LNG markets are expected to remain oversupplied for the rest of the decade. Furthermore, North China can extract additional volumes from domestic output and existing Central Asian links to China. While all of this is going on, additional advancements are occurring in the region. Li Qiang, China's premier, recently visited Russia and Belarus. During his visit to Moscow, Li met with his Russian counterpart, Mikhail Mishustin, and President Vladimir Putin. The visit focused on bilateral relations and economic cooperation between China and Russia as part of a regular diplomatic track set up for both nations' prime ministers. The future of Siberia. The second pipeline is unclear. There are intricate negotiations and geopolitical factors at play. Pricing conflicts, geopolitical difficulties, and competing energy projects all pose challenges for the project. The initiative has broader geopolitical consequences. It marks an expansion of China-Russia's strategic cooperation, which has become stronger in recent years. Western governments have expressed concern about this alliance, particularly given the ongoing tensions between Russia and the West over matters such as the situation in Ukraine. Another important consideration is the project's environmental impact. While natural gas is frequently regarded as a greener alternative to coal, on which China has become more reliant, the building of such a vast pipeline would have major environmental consequences. These would require cautious management and mitigation. Another important consideration is project financing. With a projected cost of $13 billion, obtaining money for the project in the current geopolitical atmosphere could be difficult. Western sanctions on Russia might complicate international financial alternatives, potentially increasing reliance on Chinese cash. Other regional players' roles should not be disregarded. Countries such as Kazakhstan and Mongolia stand to benefit greatly from their participation in the project, whether through transit fees or enhanced regional influence. Their actions and negotiations may have a significant impact on the project's eventual path and structure. The impact on global energy markets is another crucial factor to consider. If built, the Siberia No. 2 pipeline will dramatically boost the amount of Russian gas flowing to China, thereby altering global natural gas pricing and trade flows. This could have far-reaching consequences for other countries that produce and consume gas. China's Comac C919 is causing ripples that are shaking the foundations of the commercial aircraft sector. This is not just another airplane. It's a $99 million threat to the Boeing Airbus duopoly, which has dominated our skies for decades. And guess what? The big players are beginning to sweat. Why? Because the C919 is more than just less expensive than the A320neo and 737 MAX 8. It has the full support of the Chinese government, with an estimated $49 billion to $72 billion invested into Comac for research and development in 2020 alone. This is the kind of money that turns heads and raises questions in boardrooms from Seattle to Toulouse. But this is when things become fascinating. Brunei's Gallop Air has just placed a $2 billion order for 30 C919s, making it the Chinese Challenger's first foreign customer. This is not just a buy, it's a mark of confidence that might pave the way for additional overseas purchases. And, with China's domestic market alone likely to require over 8,000 new aircraft in the next 2 decades, Boeing and Airbus may face a significant threat to their market share. However, the C919 competes on more than simply pricing. It has some significant technology, including a composite horizontal stabilizer and a fly-by-wire flight control system. While not groundbreaking, it is a clear declaration of China's desire to compete in the top leagues of aviation technology. Now, let's talk numbers. The C919 can seat 158 to 192 passengers, making it ideal for single-aisle airplanes. Its extended range model can travel up to 3,000 nautical miles. Although not quite on par with its Western counterparts, it is excellent for a first attempt. Remember the $99 million price tag? That's an impressive $12 million less than an A320neo and $7 million less than a 737 MAX 8. In an industry where margins are important, those figures are turning heads. However, Comac and the C919 do not have a perfect flight record. They're encountering some major turbulence in the shape of regulatory obstacles. Without clearance from giants like the FAA and ESA, the C919's worldwide ambitions may be dashed before they even take off. Let's not overlook the problem of developing a global support network for maintenance and spare parts, which Boeing and Airbus have decades of expertise with. Perception, however, may pose the most significant obstacle. Some people remain skeptical of the quality and safety of Chinese-made airplanes. Comac will need to work hard to earn trust and demonstrate that the C919 can compete with Western competitors in terms of reliability and performance. Regardless of these hurdles, it would be a mistake to underestimate Comac and the C919. The Chinese government has stated unequivocally that establishing a world-class aviation industry is a national goal, and they are following through. This is more than just producing planes. It is about changing the global balance of power in the aviation industry. And Comac is not doing it alone. The C919 project features a collaboration with several Western businesses, including CFM International for engines, Honeywell for avionics, and Liebherr for the landing gear system. This collaboration brings significant experience to the table and helps to reduce some of the technological concerns. Let's go more into the C919's specifications. The aircraft is 38.9 meters long and has a wingspan of 35.8 meters, similar to its Western counterparts. 2 LEAP-1C engines made by CFM International, a joint venture between GE Aviation and Safran Aircraft Engines, are what power it. These engines are intended to lower gasoline usage by 15% compared to earlier generations, which is an important selling feature in an era of growing fuel costs and environmental concerns. Comac has also intended to compete with the best in the avionics system of the C919. The cockpit includes a cutting-edge glass cockpit with massive LCD screens, which reduces pilot workload and improves situational awareness. The aircraft also features a full fly-by-wire control system, bringing it on par with the most recent offerings from Airbus and Boeing in terms of flight control technology. The C919's materials are a blend of aluminum and composites. While not as advanced as the most recent Western aircraft in terms of composite use, it represents a considerable step forward for China's aerospace industry. The use of composites in critical places, such as the horizontal stabilizer, reduces weight and increases fuel efficiency. Comac also prioritized passenger comfort in the C919's design. The interior has larger overhead bins, wider seats, and enhanced air filtering systems. These features are intended to make the C919 competitive not only on price, but also on experience. The order book for the C919 is expanding. Comac now claims to have received over 1,000 orders and commitments for the aircraft, with the majority coming from Chinese airlines and leasing businesses. While this figure is impressive, It should be noted that many of them are tentative agreements rather than solid orders. Nonetheless, it reflects a strong interest in the aircraft, notably in China. Looking at the broader market, the C919 has immense potential. According to Boeing's Commercial Market Outlook 2020 to 2039, the world's commercial fleet is estimated to reach 48,400 aircraft by 2039, with Asia-Pacific accounting for 43% of new deliveries. If Comac can gain even a small share of this market, it has the potential to significantly destabilize the current duopoly. The C919 is only the beginning of Comac's ambitions. The company is already developing a wide-body aircraft, the CR929, in conjunction with Russia's United Aircraft Corporation. This aircraft will compete with the Boeing 787 and Airbus A350, boosting China's presence in the commercial aviation sector. The influence of the C919 goes beyond aircraft sales. It is part of China's overall aim to progress up the manufacturing value chain and become a leader in high-tech industries. Success in commercial aviation could have an impact on other industries, increasing China's overall technological capability. The C919's arrival into the market could provide airlines with additional options and potentially lower costs. Competition encourages innovation and efficiency, which can benefit both airlines and passengers. However, airlines must carefully balance the potential savings against the hurdles of bringing a new aircraft type into their fleets. The C919's development has significant geopolitical consequences as well. As tensions between China and Western countries persist, the aviation industry may become yet another battleground for competitiveness and potential confrontation. Trade restrictions or sanctions may limit Comac's ability to obtain components or sell aircraft to specific markets. The Comac C919 is a daring challenge to the existing order in commercial aviation. While it faces tremendous challenges, its ability to disrupt the market should not be overlooked. As the aircraft approaches full commercial service, all eyes will be on its performance, dependability, and market acceptance. The next several years will be critical in establishing if the C919 will transform the commercial aviation market. China's aviation ambitions reach new heights as Brunei-based Gallop Air placed the first overseas order for 30 Comac C919 aircraft. This $2 billion transaction goes beyond simply adding new planes to an existing fleet. It challenges the long-standing Boeing-Airbus duopoly and has the potential to transform the future of commercial aviation. Is this the start of a new age for the skies? The deal, signed during the China-ASEAN Expo, represents a significant step forward in cooperation between China's domestic aircraft maker and a foreign airline. Gallop Air will be the first foreign airline to employ China's big domestic aircraft as its principal fleet, as well as the first to use the ARJ-21 freighter and medical business jet variants on a global scale. For decades, Boeing and Airbus dominated the commercial aircraft market, forming a seemingly impenetrable duopoly. Now, with Comac's C919 approaching the world stage, we're seeing a potential shift in the balance of power within the aviation industry. The C919, China's answer to the Airbus A320 and Boeing 737, involves years of research and development, as well as enormous expenditure. With a seating capacity of 158 to 192 passengers, it is intended to compete directly with the world's most popular single-aisle planes. Gallop Air's decision to acquire the C919 is a strong demonstration of faith in Chinese aviation technology. This vote of confidence may prompt other carriers to explore the C919, potentially challenging the Boeing-Airbus duopoly. The repercussions of this agreement go beyond aircraft sales. It is a strategic move that might strengthen China-ASEAN relations and help the development of the Guangxi-Brunei Economic Corridor. Gallop Air intends to deploy these Chinese-built aircraft to improve aviation links, with the first launch locations expected to be Nanning and Guilin in South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region. However, Comac and the C919 are facing serious hurdles. One of the most significant challenges is acquiring approval from international aviation authorities, such as the Federal Aviation Administration and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency. Without these certifications, the C919's ability to operate in key international markets is constrained. Furthermore, Comac has to increase production, provide continuous quality control, and establish a strong global support network for maintenance and spare parts. These are not easy jobs, especially for a new entrant in the commercial aviation industry. Despite these challenges, the C919's potential influence on the international market is tremendous. If successful, it might improve competition in the aircraft manufacturing industry, potentially leading to greater innovation, better products, and cheaper costs for both airlines and passengers. The C919 has already completed its first commercial trip from Shanghai to Beijing, which is a huge milestone for China's aviation industry. According to Comac chairman He Dongfeng, orders for the C919 had reached an astonishing 1,061 aircraft, with 2 already delivered. It's not just the C919 either. Comac's regional jet, the ARJ-21, is also gaining traction, with 112 aircraft in service and 775 on order. Comac is making substantial inroads into the commercial aviation business. Gallop Air itself is an intriguing character in this story. As a new airline offering hybrid flight services, it sees itself as a complement to Royal Brunei Airlines, thereby becoming Brunei's second flag carrier. Their long-term goal is to construct a Southeast Asian air transport hub employing Chinese-made aircraft, a strategy that might have far-reaching consequences for regional air travel. The agreement between Gallop Air and Comac is more than just a business transaction. It represents the shifting dynamics in global aviation. It signifies China's aim to become a key player in the high-end manufacturing industry, as well as its expanding economic influence around the world. If the C919 is successful, we may see a more diverse and competitive aircraft market. This could lead to increased innovation as Boeing and Airbus strive to maintain their market positions. Airlines may have additional options for fleet planning, which might lead to more efficient operations and improved customer service. However, the road ahead for Comac and the C919 is not without challenges. They must demonstrate that they can deliver on their commitments, meet demanding international safety standards, and establish a reputation for dependability. The aviation sector is famously strict about safety and performance, and Comac will have to continuously achieve these high criteria. Geopolitical concerns could have a considerable impact on the C919's worldwide success. Trade disputes and technological competition between China and Western countries may have an impact on the aircraft's acceptance in specific areas. The C919 is more than just an aircraft. It represents China's technological strength and aspiration to compete on a global scale. This airplane represents years of study, development, and investment, and it demonstrates China's engineering talents. The C919, built for short to medium-haul trips, has some interesting features. It is fuel-efficient, environmentally sustainable, and provides a comfortable passenger experience. In many ways, it resembles its Western equivalents, the Airbus A320neo and Boeing 737 MAX. Gallop Air, unlike Emirates or Singapore Airlines, is making a daring move with this order. This ambitious airline, headquartered in Brunei, is keen to broaden its reach and connect Southeast Asia to the rest of the world. Ordering 30 C919 aircraft demonstrates its desire and willingness to compete with the major players in the aviation business. The framework agreement has been signed, but the transaction has yet to be finalized. The C919 still requires type certification from the European Union Aviation Safety Agency before it may operate commercially in Europe. This certification is critical for Comac and Gallop Air since it is a seal of approval from a globally recognized body, ensuring passengers and airlines alike that the aircraft is safe and airworthy. Deliveries are planned to commence in the third quarter of 2024, but this is subject to the C919 obtaining EASA certification. It's a waiting game for the time being, but excitement is mounting, and this order is more than just 30 planes. It is a symbolic victory for Comac, confirming its status as a serious competitor in the global aviation business. For China, it is a source of national pride. The C919 symbolizes their technological growth and capacity to compete in a highly complicated and competitive sector. This agreement has the potential to transform the aviation sector by encouraging competition, spurring innovation, and eventually benefiting passengers globally. Of course, every new entry in a competitive market will face hurdles. The aviation business is no exception, and the launch of the Comac C919 is sparking quite a bit of discussion. The C919 will face intense competition from established players such as the Airbus A320neo and the Boeing 737 MAX. These aircraft have long served as the foundation of airline fleets, with a proven track record of dependability and performance. The C919, on the other hand, is the newcomer on the block with a lot to prove. Some industry analysts have expressed concern about the C919's ability to match its competitors' production capacity, which could be a risk if geopolitical tensions grow. Additionally, increasing output to satisfy global demand is a big problem that Comac will face. Others wonder if airlines and customers, particularly in Western markets, will be prepared to accept a Chinese-built aircraft. There are issues about consumer perceptions of quality and safety, as well as potential biases against Chinese products. Airlines must be convinced that the C919 can provide the same level of performance and dependability as its Western rivals. These are genuine issues, and only time will tell how Comac responds to them. The company will have to work hard to gain trust and show that the C919 is a viable alternative to the existing competitors. This will entail not only demonstrating the aircraft's technical capabilities, but also ensuring that it meets the demanding regulatory criteria of various market segments. However, the C919's introduction to the market is unquestionably a beneficial development, stimulating competition and perhaps bringing down costs for airlines and customers alike. Increased competition can spur innovation and progress in the industry, benefiting everyone involved. The C919's success could also open the door to further entries from other regions, broadening the market and providing more options for airlines and customers. The aviation industry is on the verge of a major transformation. The C919's debut in the worldwide market represents more than simply a new aircraft. It might disrupt the global balance of power in the aviation industry. The success or failure of the C919 might have far-reaching consequences for the future of air travel, influencing everything from ticket costs to the types of aircraft we'll be traveling in for years to come. What are your thoughts about this deal? Do you think the C919 can compete with the established players? Or will the challenges be too much for Comac to overcome? Share your thoughts in the comments below.